bid that you gave us.
He's not gonna. Just.
No, I wanted you on
One thing,
finance.
please.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna
Are
be
you
my-
interested in Mayor Pro Tem?
Okay.
My
Okay.
buddy.
Park and Rec.
I thought you were
Yeah, I'll
gonna
tell
be
him.
my buddy.
No, I'm gonna go out on the street.
I'll just keep
I thought you were gonna be my budget buddy, Gail.
And I'll
No.
try Ken's.
So that was like, their
Well,
reviews.
I'll say I'll have somebody that,
Crystal, Chad, Tim.
like architecture.
We do their
Maybe
reviews.
Rhoda, you'll be in there.
She can't do it because she's related to Chad.
And he had me on there and I was never stuff because I couldn't.
She couldn't do it anyway.
Okay, thank you.
I was told that their names were just thrown into places instead of asked.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going through and asking what people
Yes,
would
I
like to be
asked
in.
him very politely.
How are you doing?
Good. Cause I feel like if you pick what you wanna do, you're gonna find that.
Already have you down on finance.
Jeff, we need to have a pond
You
for
could do all six if
We
you
have
want.
time.
For five to what?
pond
Oh, yeah?
Okay. I got Gail down.
on the,
Oh, you
Either.
might end up on her street.
If you like him, it's pretty fine.
oh,
You know what?
Wait,
I can't tell what they're not,
I can.
and they're not around.
Are you sure?
Gail and I
On the
can do this together.
Are they in the water?
Gail and I
Swim
work
in,
great
swim
together.
Yeah, we're also missing one more person for Park and Rec. So.
But they're just making a mess, we can't get the kids through it.
That's all right. You
Yeah.
can
How you doing?
also put people that are not on.
We
the-
really need somebody
Oh,
that's,
sure.
yeah,
You can make my mom be on Parks and Rec.
they have to, like a blade, just down all the way
Before,
around.
I was the only council person that was on Parks and Rec.
Call him
Zero.
Oh, they don't have to on the city council.
Well, for Park and Rec, they don't, because Park and Rec,
December.
Park and Rec before.
Yeah, I don't think until December, so.
But
But anytime you want, I can just get it assistance.
Then you boy,
You don't have to worry about losing it, I don't have to worry about
one
it.
of the foils ladies, those were the three people that was on Park and Rec before.
I don't know.
So we don't have to have all city council.
Just for Park and Rec though.
Yeah, there's certain, like, yeah, like that.
Park and Rec doesn't have to be, but like,
Personnel.
like
finance.
water and sewer, street, finance, personnel, those obviously have to
Council
be.
meeting was supposed to be done.
Because,
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
They did a
but
report
like Park and
party
Rec
for me, so I think I'm done.
I know, I.
Ours are good. I'm going to, I feel low. I feel like I'm going from a semi to a. Toyota. Okay.
hold your head down all night. It did look like it. Didn't need more chairs. No. It looked like a
Need
little
more chairs.
midget.
Yeah, because it sure doesn't go up as high as this one for state.
Okay, I'm gonna steal your. for a minute. Oh, boy.
She broke the table and made a circle.
I am so sorry.
Where's the rest? Is there a bathroom?
Go through that
Okay.
hallway there.
Right.
I was on the right side of you. Hey, how are you, sir? It's okay.
I didn't sign up for everything. You can't sign up for zoning,
You grab a couple and I'll grab a couple.
so,
I can't change them anyway. Oh, we can't change them. Out of line. And.
you know, it is easy to ignore it because you know they're always.
Thank you, Dr.
Each one of the township, township.
I will let you know.
Your boss.
Yeah. And they do what they do every single year. Know what happened? They had such a good lead in the first half of hockey, and they got complacent. Bears come back.
And the four behind might be, you know, say that's the problem. He said, oh, that would be it. Well.
So,
I'm 45. And I What's that?
I said Steve's elected.
Oh,
Unless you get lucky. Because I don't know how many times I've chased about that.
hopefully nothing, because I don't think she has car keys.
Not my number one favorite town. Maybe back then it probably wasn't bad, but it's a great place, I guess.
Yes.
So,
Bears, tickets, all.
okay, because I remember I said, Nick.
Can't beat that. These tickets to the White
I remember that.
Well, I
No,
tried
but then I
watching
remember
it,
this.
sent me email, and I gave it to him, so he has it, but we did that last night.
Yeah.
He didn't get it, I gave it to you.
Yeah, we basically, how we do it.
So, yeah, I printed all that off.
Wait, no, wait to see if the
Whole
card
day.
is not
Whole day.
right.
We don't have.
It's a whole day.
This is all.
Me too.
Huh?
Me too.
I just know all the junk. I have not.
Told you I was needy for you, you just ignored me.
And now.
No. She forgot. Yes, she did. Busy with other things, no.
I know my sister-in-law called.
Oh.
Here's your nightstand.
No. Yeah. That was-
Justin. You hear what she said?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Like, because that would be a dress. Dropped off.
Lisa, is she asking if we were watching scary movies?
Are the best.
Were you busy your nightstand?
Doing what to my nightstand?
Was you busy with your nightstand?
Busy with my nightstand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know.
Around in here. We're on that side.
Chubby, she totally ignored me today.
My son went to my
No
university.
phone calls, no coming over. I have stuff for her to do. She was busy.
That's why I told them in Iowa State.
She wasn't busy.
He said she was busy.
She's busy.
Justin, you can leave now too.
Oh, yeah.
That downtown is really. I didn't look at that part.
Yeah, that's.
I looked at the date and the books on it.
Oh, they're done building.
Well,
Well.
makes it a lot, roundabouts are real, make it a lot easier to have a laptop. I can read
Oh.
Hey, she says she has to deal with it. So does that mean she doesn't want to go to Florida?
So
Someone changed
midlife crisis, well.
So in our house, you can get pretty.
Not that.
someone has to go ahead and pay for the name.
They're.
So,
How do you change stuff like that? I mean, who would randomly just say that?
that's why I said to make sure. Administrator settings that has it set up on the computer possible. I mean, it goes over there too, but.
But I'll pass that.
Right.
Yes. Well, I said, yes, and I gave you contact info. Down the side. I'll double check, but.
I for the first.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Oh, that's like. Yeah, it is.
I'm like, you're.
Pero. Linda, yes, I am. She's my grandmother. Back to. Yes, I do. I have a brother, Lucas. I have 6 brothers, so it's hard to. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'm watching. No, he goes to, he does soccer. It's amazing.
I already did. He is.
Happy every day. What?
A lot of towns. Very silent. And how are you? I think I just saw you, probably last night.
How you doing? Well, we know. I'm just like. Good.
We're doing the old school picking here. You told me my daughter doesn't have a cord.
I don't know, I guess everybody has had, I don't.
I'll get it to you tomorrow.
So, you're not Tom, Tom, you are Tom.
What's that?
Okay.
I need to be able to see which is entertaining.
Rob was the youngest.
Okay.
What are we doing now?
Everybody knows what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I got you my phone.
Neil's over there talking.
Yeah, Todd was a year.
Okay, yeah, you got the connection, very good. And I want to get these people here. Yeah, there's a lot of cars out there.
Listen to her.
We've had a those, yes, yes.
That means if my phone will be like so. I'm gonna get that on a heads up. My phone will always be on vibrate. If it starts ringing, I'll figure it out. And if I see you run out the door, I see you.
But it was after about 3 minutes.
Depending on what it is.
You're not getting it.
Sure.
So depending on what it is, depends on the hardware.
You should do that because they're still.
I told you, I signed up for everything.
She did.
Big, yes.
So what's been going on?
Oh, so you're telling her.
So,
Oh, my crap. On there.
I'm ordering. So I saw somebody in the car out there, was wondering what they killed something. They were good. We give
This way, I'll make it like.
See.
All right, so I can put this at the bottom of my list.
We made sure all safety back.
Oh, yeah. No, yes, I don't think right.
So.
That's why I thought. It's not always been around.
Yes, I remember now.
You know, done by. Through these.
And then make a perfect. Yes.
Huge.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
You get to go play with her. Okay. Call this meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I. United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Annette?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Brenna? Clayton? Gail?
Yes.
Approved consent agenda. We do have a amendment to tonight's agenda. We will not be going over the fire department's fire budget tonight. That will be Thursday at 5 p.m. So, if no one else has any issues, I have questions.
On heating and cooling, he had a water meter replacement. It's on that. Okay, got it. On the recycling dump for welding innovations, are there still two down there? How do people? Yeah, I know that. Okay. How do people know the difference?
Ours is the really nice green.
I know that.
We're gonna sticker that
Nicer. Okay, we're gonna put a sticker on it one way.
one.
Okay, good. I just did that and I thought.
That's how we'll identify.
Just a second.
There is.
I'm done.
Any other questions, concerns? Okay. Annette? Ash? Yeah, me.
Motion to.
I'll second.
Okay. Brenna? Do you approve?
Oh, yes.
Clayton? Yes, sir. Gail?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yep.
And Annette?
Yes.
All approved. Open forum, comment by the council. Dawn?
I just have a couple updates for you. One is for Highway 25 Side Corridor. Just wanted to give you an update from 2025 project. Scranton does very well. We get good applicants, we get a lot of applicants, we get good feedback for funding as well. In fact, Scranton probably does the best in the towns involved. In the corridor. So, Scranton had 9 projects completed. There were 27 total projects out of the whole corridor. Homeowner investment was $37,485. Grants funded were $11,561 for a total investment to Scranton Community of $49,000. Of exterior improvement. The city has always participated, and we greatly appreciate that. And as you're doing your budget, we'd like us to come back for another approval request at a later date. We certainly can do that. You just let us know if you would like a full presentation of some sort. By all means, we can do that.
How much do you usually ask?
5,000. I know Steve was at our Go Green event last week, and so there is another corridor. There's the 144 towns in that. They do 10% of their Go Green. I just wanted to throw that out there if that's a different option you'd like to take. My other update is recycling. So, yes, there are 2 dumpsters down there, and honestly, it really doesn't matter which dumpster they put it in. The county has paid for the dumpster that's been down there for years before the city got it. Many, many, many years while the city did not have recycling services. We did, the county, we did give notice to the city of Jefferson that we will not be renewing our 28E agreement with them. For multiple reasons. We did not get a budget in time. The 28E that we thought we had in place, we never filed. And then plus, the cost was, we are wanting to do some research. We have done some research. We think we can do it for a much lesser price. And for those cities who are Scranton, who already have your dumpster, if an option would be the county to go on a 28E with you to share that cost. And potentially save you guys some dollars as well. So we're working out those details. So now, when Jefferson will stop bringing that dumpster, I don't know. It could be, given notice, it could be tomorrow. They could wait till the end of the fiscal year. They could wait till February 15th. I don't know. So it's in their hands.
Is that the one on the north side of the water plant? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, the recycling dumpsters.
We're gonna take that away.
It's in their ball.
Well, that eliminates confusion. It's gone.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is where we are at as far as recycling. I will stay in contact with you as far as what we might potentially, where we're headed. We want to try to participate with all towns and make sure we have access for all the rural residents. And everything. So. All right,
Don, question.
yes.
Every time, who notifies, it's, Rice, right? Kelly Rice, that comes up.
That's for theirs.
That's right, okay, so when it gets picked up, then somebody has to notify them when to pick it up, right? When it's full, and if the count, if everybody uses that one, do they have to pay so much for each dumpage? And,
Yeah,
and where,
that's where you would work things out with the community agreement. Yes.
yes,
When the
it's
counties,
per dump.
when it was just the counties, it was dumped twice a month.
Okay,
So, I mean, we've survived with one dumpster for years.
right,
So, I mean, two is an overload. One is sufficient. It would just need to be dumped more than, I think now it's once a month.
Yeah.
It would just need dumped more.
but
But that's-
who's paying for it before? I mean, it's like, the city is paying for it to be dumped now,
Their dumpster.
yes. Yes,
The counties always paid for the other one.
right, but if the county one goes away, and then the town one gets utilized more, then will there be enough funds collected monthly in order to pay for coverage of dumping?
That's why you'd enter a 28E to cover those
Okay,
expenses.
all right,
Yes,
I'm out of the loop on that, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
like,
that's why you'd enter an agreement that would make sure you cover the cost.
okay,
And, you know, the cost probably wouldn't be specifically in the 2088, but it would relate to a budget presented each year. It has to be presented each year to work on, because there will be increases at some point, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
you can't put the dollar amount in the 20, but you put provisions in there to protect both sides of that.
yeah, this language is just foreign to me,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
really
fine.
do need to have things explained to me, I'm
So
sorry.
it's fine. We don't need two dumpsters.
That's
One is
just the way I
sufficient,
am.
it can just be dumped more.
Yes, ma'am. Is there,
I wanna know what you're gonna do about the streets that they tore up. In the north end of town.
What are you referring to, Linda?
Out on along the street where my yard starts to the street, they tore up
where there's no curb?
clumps of or dirt and everything else where there's no curb. But I've noticed around town that they've done it even when there is curb. I look.
So not the streets, the
It's the yard.
At the end of the year,
when it gets nicer, they will come back, and when they get time, they do come back and they'll flip it back over.
Well, I
If they
don't
need to
want them
plant,
to
they'll
wait.
plant.
I don't want them to wait until July to
Well, no,
fix
they're
my
not gonna wait
street.
till
I'll
July.
come over there and do it for you tomorrow.
Well, I'm not only talking about my own.
No,
I'm
yes,
talking
I
about the
yes.
one across the street.
Uh-huh.
My yard was tore up too. I took 5 minutes with a rake and fixed it. I'll come fix yours too.
No, you
And our
don't
guys will
have-
do
I
that
don't
too.
want you fixing mine.
Well, then don't complain about it being torn
Well,
up.
I
We'll get
just
it
wanna
taken
know
care
what
of.
you're gonna
Yes.
do. Are
We
you
will
gonna
get it
put
taken
grass seed down?
Yes,
Are you gonna
we do.
rake it, or
They
you
will
gonna-
go back and they will take care of it.
So,
Yes.
do you have any idea when?
I can talk to Chad and I will let you know.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I maintain my yard very
Yes,
well, and
yes, you
I
do.
want.
I understand.
All right.
Yes, I do know mine tonight. We write insurance for
Anyone else? Open forum. Okay. On to the monthly reports. We have the Public Works report. Water, monthly report is done. Monthly bacteria and fluoride samples are done. Yearly arsenic sample is tomorrow. Water usage permit renewal is done. Cleaning sedimentation tank tonight, starting at midnight. Tim will be in at 3 a.m. It has to be done when water usage is down because the water plant is shut off. Chad has started the yearly Tier 2 report, due March 1st. Sewer, monthly report is done. Weekly samples continue to come back good. Plant is running good. Streets, have had the sweeper out. Got some snow fence up in the worst spots. Got a tree bid, chain bid. A homeowner is redoing sewer from street to the house, and the line runs under one of the wooden manhole we are replacing next spring. But they can't finish their sewer without the manhole replaced. We have the parts, and I've talked to Pemble. Hopefully it will get done this week. I already have all the parts needed. That is the Public Works.
No, we just have you back at midnight to do what you said, yeah.
Library board.
I guess I'm the only one here from the library board. We really don't have anything new in addition to what was in the minutes that we sent out. And, one thing that, a big project that I'm working on this year is gonna be the strategic plan. And, it has to do with, our involvement with the community, setting out surveys, what's important, what do people need, what do they want to see done, and getting that all drafted and getting it approved. Speak to anything that comes out, like, please, turn it in, your ideas are important.
They can be everything laid out with the need for.
Yes, yeah, you know about that, don't you, Brenna? Yeah, there was a meeting here, and it was submitted to Brenna, and you approved it. And then we had our meeting at the library, and it was in our meeting minutes, and we approved it. And so now, as soon as the language gets rewritten for the lease, it will include the head librarian, which is Tammy, and also, the president of the library board, and that is Molly Ritter. And so I think you will need some identification, social security numbers and all that sort of thing. And as soon as that is written up, then we will have access to it. We don't need to have, okay, Crystal, come meet us, we're adults now, we can be on our own. And we thank you for all that work that you put into that. So thank you.
I noticed also that, there was a substantial amount moved out of the money market into a CD.
Yes.
I assume that was increased interest.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. That's been taken care of, right, Brenna?
Yes.
It's nice to have her here, isn't it? Great asset.
Oh, like, one more thing, I think somehow we've got to coordinate better with Sweet Treat on the Christmas stuff. When you got two events running at the same time, they're gonna go where the free stuff is,
Yeah,
and so.
we try to entice them to come our way too,
Yeah. I
It
know,
is.
but we still have to, if we will coordinate that, I think we'll increase our numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
December was pretty busy. There's our use report. The second floor demo is completed, the subfloor is down. The electric on the batting cage is finished. The generator is finished. So we're getting our projects, taken care of. And then, Christmas night, the power went out and, the generator popped on like within minutes, so. Yeah, so that was good test. Anyway, I imagine it was pretty dark in the gym when the lights went out. Anyway, attached is just, the calendar year of 2025. I always do this, and then, so I'll just kind of go through, and you can obviously read this. The events and meetings, those are just, things that we host at no charge. Like things we try to, community things like fundraisers, Green County librarians, things like that. And then there's what we call recreational activities. Then there's a list of our private rentals, broken down into what, areas they've used. And then just other rentals, like the school, basketball groups, tournaments, Scranton manufacturing, things like that. So there was, for total use, it increased from last year. So the building was used 542 times. We had 36 cancellations, 14 due to weather, and 22 due to other reasons. So the building was in use 266 days out of the year. So obviously there were multiple things going on in the building during one day. We had a total of just shy of 1,000 hours of volunteerism building, and there's a list of the volunteers. And then the last page is just kind of referencing back to volunteer hours, events, and different things for the past years. You will notice that when COVID hit, it took a little while to kind of rebound on a few things, but we have a lot of increases this year. Days of use, total building use, rentals, different things. So I will be, since we have some new people on the board, I will be giving you next month, I'll bring a timeline of kind of where we started, projects we've done along the way, when those happened, different things like that. So you're kind of up to speed. And if anybody would like a tour, just contact me and I can take you through it. Any questions? We will be getting into, we're gonna do, I think, a Valentine's Day dinner, and we're gonna start some bingo and some dodgeball. I planned on doing that earlier, but just things got in the way. So, but yeah, we'll be getting snack too. So.
John, the lights over the mural.
Yeah, isn't that cool? That really, I'm glad we changed those. Those look really nice. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Those are eye catching. Yep, those are nice. Thank you.
Parks. Fire chief annual report and meeting with township trustees. Annual fire report and budget request.
Yeah, I'll go over the fire calls that we had for this year. We had a total of 14 fire calls this year, and on your sheet, I listed how many we had in each township, and one correction on mutual aid calls. We had one mutual aid call with Jefferson Fire Department this year. And as far as the budget goes, our budget's probably gonna stay pretty much the same as last year, depending on, like I told Crystal, on the insurance, when you hear from the insurance. That'll change the most. This last year went through, for the insurance company, went through a rigorous, physical for all the members. We had to, we hired a outfit out of, I think Minneapolis that came down. And they did EKGs on us, blood tests, and flow mask. The flow mask is the guys that will go inside the house that can qualify to go inside the house. You put your mask on and they flow test it so that you're fit, good and everything. And then we did hearing tests and everything that our insurance told us to do. And other than that, I can't think of too much other things. Fire building is one thing I want to mention. I think it's been about 5 years since I brought that up, but anyway, we need to get that done. And I brought Jamie from Morton here tonight. He's the one that's been responding to me the most. Trying to get everybody else to respond to you, but I do have 3 bids if we get to that part, but I was informed before the meeting, can't do those right now. So, you can ask Jamie questions and he'll give you a little bit about the building that Morton puts on.
Yeah, I've been with Morton for 30 years next month, so I'm just here to answer any questions about what we're doing with the building, about the product that we use, or the process. I'm the sales consultant / project manager for it. So kind of Morton Building's kind of sole source court accountability we come to us for every single part of that project. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions on what we're doing or.
You have put up fire stations?
Yeah, we've got 4 fire stations just in this area that we've put up. And then we have our own in-house architects, our own in-house engineers that support everything that we do. So a lot of companies don't have that, so they got to outsource that, which gets expensive. That's just part of what we do. And we've got a department at Morton Buildings that just does fire stations. So everything that we do runs through those guys, makes the code for the loading, for safety, firewalls, all that stuff, draft stops, all that stuff's included in the price of our project. So it's not just me looking at it. There's a lot of people that's what they do every day. So we build a lot of them across the United States.
You have your own electricians and all that, or are you bringing in other companies?
We can subcontract that stuff out. In this case, we haven't. Doug's got some local plumbers and electricians we do. We do as much of the project as you want or as little. So there's a case for some farmers, they all have electricians, their own concrete guy. In the case of this project, we're doing basically the entire building insulation package, interior. We're doing all the overhead doors, walk doors, windows, and all the concrete work, footings, foundation system. And then we back all that stuff. We do 50 years for snow load on the building with no weight limit. We do 35 years for paint. And so all that comes with our package. We do our own insurance policy through the whole building program. So all that's covered by our builder's risk insurance, which a lot of their companies don't have that either. So, and then with us, everybody else that you'll ever talk to that does buildings prorates all their warranty. Our warranty is not prorated. So if it's covered for 50 years for snow load and 49 years it goes down, it's full cost replacement by Morton Buildings, not sourced out that you've gotten X amount of use out of it and you're going to get some discount on a building. So.
How big is it going to be? What's the footprint like?
48 foot wide by 100 foot long, 18 4 tall, so we can have a second story in the west end of it. So
Doug, when you're offering these jobs for bids, are you including a specific list of things that everybody's bidding on, like One guy might, do concrete work or.
I'll explain, how I started out. I drew my own pictures and my own, drafting, and then I gave it Jamie and Tri-County and, Stevens from Perry, the contractor. And they all came up with, different designs, or told me about what that cost and stuff, like my design. Well, then we got those back, and then I went over it again and discussing with different people what we needed. And then we finally came up with the final one that I gave Crystal that you guys should have. And it'll all be the size and everything. They're bidding on the same thing.
Yeah, they're all bidding on the same amount of work, just the building itself and not the concrete or.
Concrete too.
So all the bids include concrete.
Concrete and doors. It doesn't include, plumbing or wiring. Yeah. Yeah, it includes insulation.
They're all bidding on the same.
Well, that's I wanted it all apples to apples. Yep, and it is. Yep, it's supposed to, it's the exact same thing. And well, in fact, Jamie got me his list back to me right away, which I gotta give him, a lot of credit for that, because it's hard these days to have anybody get back to you anyway. Well, Jamie's been back to me right now, and I did take his drawings, the final ones that we came up with, and he got them done first and everything. And so I did take them to Tri-County to go off of, so they went off of his list of things too.
Thanks, Mike.
There's certain things that we do that other people don't match, as far as we're, some of our steel and our paint, the fasteners, solid stainless steel screw fasteners. Morton's kind of the topper end of that stuff on everything. Other people can match it. If they match everything specifically, they'll always be more money than us. A lot of times they don't. They use a little bit thinner steel, a little bit different paint. There's a lot of specific little things on the building that make us a premier builder. And in a case like a fire station, we're gonna be here for generations. This is definitely a place where, some guys will say, well, I'm building this out in the back 40, I'm gonna put tractors, I don't care. If it lasts me 40 years, I'm good. But in this case, this is definitely, where we should be building this type of project, so.
Where does Morton usually get their goods from? I mean, like the metal and the wood.
Yeah, we have 8 manufacturing plants across the United States, and we roll all of our own steel and bring our lumber in and stuff. And all of our trusses are made at the manufacturing plant and so the closest one here is Spencer. So that's another thing too. We're not shipping it from, a lot of these companies buy their steel from the East Coast. Well, it goes down the road and abrasions and everything happen from shipping. This stuff's gonna come from about 2.5 hours away, so.
Good. Sorry.
And we probably need to look at things on the agenda that they have their own architecture. Getting architecture is gonna be quite a bit of money.
Mhm.
So, we may wanna avoid doing that and, do that. And only thing I can say, you go around the country and there's more buildings all over.
I'm afraid your insurance company is gonna demand that it be designed by an architect.
Yeah, we have our own in-house. Allied Design is a company that's owned by Morton Buildings, so we have our own architects. So it is gonna be stamped and designed by engineers and architects. So that, you'll have architectural plans by an architect that, for that. So
So
all of our commercial
That's
buildings
in
do.
their bid then.
Yeah,
It
that's all
isn't in
part
the
of,
other two.
that's all part of the cost of our
Okay.
project, yeah. Yeah, our cost of that is minimal, where I think our design cost in that part's a lot smaller than what if you went out and hired an architect just to do this project. And then the builder that builds it might not build it like the architect wants to. So some of that can be a little tricky. So that's why we have our own architect firm and our own engineering firm, so. But we do, like I said, we do thousands of buildings a year across the United States, so.
Doug, when we meet on Thursday, then will you have those? When do you think you'll have those?
I have them now. But we can't, no. We can't discuss them, I guess, legally.
When can we?
We have to publish it 3 places, give everyone an opportunity.
I have a couple questions. So, we can't say yea or nay, correct?
Type of the process.
Okay, so hypothetically speaking,
How long would a project like this take to complete? If we were to say, like, let's just say tomorrow, we'd say yes.
Yeah, if you said yes tomorrow, hypothetically, we would start in around the 1st of April, weather permitting, and we could be done with the project, wrapped up by, end of June. So I'd say, 2 to 3 months, depending on weather. Yeah.
So have you started getting grants wrote and things like that to
I
help?
can't do that until we find out the price, which ones you guys decide.
Gotcha.
I've talked to Region 12 and we're lined up to get going on that as soon as I find out.
All right, because I think the Green County thing is due like in February.
It's due February 18th.
Like, soon.
Get that done as quickly as possible.
As a trustee, am I correct in assuming that the city is taking on the responsibility of paying for this and the trustees?
One other thing I was gonna mention too, that we have included in our bid that I don't think anybody else has even done, but I brought our safety guy from corporate out. He was at our office visiting a couple weeks ago, and he came and toured the site, and there's some different things with the power lines. There's a lot of power lines there. So safety monitor stuff and a special lift for getting around stuff. So all that stuff's included in my price too, in that plan, minus what could be underground. We don't know what's underground, but everything above ground has been talked about and discussed, so.
So is that gonna face south?
Yeah.
And it's 100-foot long?
I put some flags out there. If you go by the lot, it's,
So
They're still there.
They have what, 10 foot on each end, extra space? I think are they 120-foot lots there or what?
I think something like that, but I don't know if they go to the middle of the alley or not when they measure those.
it's about 20 foot off the insurance building there.
I don't know how they measured either. I was
Middle
just
of
wondering how deep the lot was.
That-
You gotta have your offsets, right? Do that.
How many doors do you have in it?
There's 4 bigger overhead doors for trucks and 2 smaller doors. With 2 14 by 8s and the rest were, 14 tall for the bigger trucks, so.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
So you're gonna have like a meeting room in there as well?
Yeah, that'll be the upstairs.
That'll be the upstairs, okay.
Not about the building, but about the fire budget. Crystal, will you send that out? Yes, I will send out the proposed budget like we usually do tomorrow. That's that way you have it.
And then once I get a final.
Just a final.
Yes.
Okay, well, that'll have a meeting before, we get it final.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Also, Doug's got my cell phone. If anybody has any specific questions, wants to call me, reach out and holler at me anytime.
I think it's on those sheets you guys have too.
Okay. Appointments. Over the committees. Mayor, with me, Steve Scheffler. Mayor Pro Tem will be Ashley Swift. Our city attorney is Mr. Ethan. Park and Rec will be Ashley and Clayton. Water and Sewer, Ashley and Gail. Streets will be Gail and Ashley. Finance, Brenna and Ashley. Personnel, Ashley and Brenna. Seeing no issues, I'll make a motion that we approve the committee assignments Red? Annette?
Yes.
Brenna?
Yes.
Ashley? Clayton? Yes, sir. Gail? Yes. Approved. Business items. First item of business will be Greg with GCDC.
Good evening. My name is Greg Picklap. I'm the new executive director for Green County Development Corporation. I started in August, and the reason I'm here now in January is because I ran around and introduced myself to the city staff and clerks, but I waited until the election cycle was over before I started doing these meetings, so that way there was no confusion on anything going on for any new funds that came on after the election was won. Does anyone here know our new relationship with the Ames Regional Economic Alliance? A couple of you, okay. So back in August, the Green County entered into a partnership with the Ames Regional Economic Alliance. We do economic development for 4 counties now, including Green County, Boone County, Story County, Hamilton County, and now Green. Every county's got a direct economic development person. I run the local position through my executive director at GCDC. I'm here. This is my role as Green County. So I would help overall with economic development initiatives across the region, but my role is to be here doing projects, doing initiatives, doing housing, doing anything that the communities in Green County needs. The key point is working with Crystal. We got a project coming up here probably this spring. I'm going to be bringing a proposal for you to consider. It'll be a project that will be funded by GCDC for a drainage issue with B&D. So that'll be something to help with that drainage issue here in the community itself for potential future expansion. Another thing too is that I am here as needed. Crystal, the info. If you need me, you got my card, my cell number, email. I have an Ames address on my contact info, but I am a Green County guy. But I live in Boone County, so thank you for beating us so bad in football earlier this year. I really appreciate that. Just a case in point too, if you have any concerns or questions, or if something comes up with an idea or something you want to run by me, my email and phone's always open. Just pick it up and I'm here, and I'm just here tonight to introduce myself and answer any questions.
Just curious about the plan up there. I know it's a swamp. What are you thinking about doing?
So we got a bid from Pemble to run a drainage tile right into your line to the
Storm drain?
sewer drain, storm drain to the south, right?
So it's going in the storm drain?
Yeah. So we're not gonna connect to the manhole, we're gonna go straight south to the storm drain itself. We got the bid from Pemble. They were busy with the fall and everything else, but we have everything set, and I already got approval from my board for the funding for the project itself. So I'm gonna bring you a project proposal. My recommendation would be for the city to do it. It's your line, it's your territory, you know it, and then we would grant you the funds to do the project, so it's not on the taxpayers. And this is something we're gonna move forward with and something we're gonna start doing across the county too, so.
Greg, are you involved with People's Bank and their proposed move?
Yes. So I have been looped in by Mr. Rigler on that. Another thing too is that I am monitoring that along with the old location and the new location. And also too, I did forget to mention, thanks for the reminder, the Casey's expansion project. That was my predecessor, intern director Michelle Book. She's the one that contacted corporate and got their attention on it. The expansion and investment that was done there earlier this summer, that was her. So that was something too GCDC had a part in as well. And the pizza's good. I've already heard a comment or two that the beer cooler can be bigger. But also case in point, it's something that those are type of economic development that we're focusing on. So yes, we're focusing on housing and the big stuff, but also drainage, expansions, and helping moving, and that is economic development.
You got some clout that you can tell Casey you want to do, right?
What's that?
You got some clout that you can tell Casey you want to do.
Well, I am a 5-year alumni of Casey's. I worked there through high school and college.
Really?
So when it comes up to it, I send an email saying 5-year alumni. I need a lot of coffee for you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
So now,
But that is something that we can do, is that with our Ames connection now and my affiliation with
but
the
it
Alliance,
hinges
we can now contact corporate directly, we can now make those connections.
An
and
agreement
Do it that way.
with
So
the
it just helps Grant County long term.
Greg, I don't know if
They
you've
want
heard,
to turn that into the
about our
Scranton
problem with
stuff.
post office.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that
So we're just
trying
kind of
to
like
deal
waiting
with
for
some
one
government entity or semi-government entity is almost impossible in
I don't know.
an individual sense and a
I
small
don't know.
town sense.
I don't know.
We need help.
Be closer to.
So I can tell you, I am in contact with the post office.
They don't have to
I
go
am talking
down.
to them. But to your point, which is spot on, it is a government entity, and until I have a final answer, I have nothing to update you on.
Sean Rigler from People's Bank today, emailing them monthly, so we are still trying to on our end.
So I am looped in, and then Congressman Nunn's office has also been concerned. So we also have them looped in too, to hopefully shoot a shot across the bow to keep them up to date. But yes, that is on my radar.
I thought I heard somebody say that they kind of decided not to move that bank down there because of the cost of all the concrete. Expenses.
The movement project.
So, I can speak on that, so we were wanting to move our Murphy building to, Scranton by Casey's, Cross and Tumbles, but with the cost, it just seemed more beneficial to, because we already had an interested party, Rolling Hills, who we sold the building to. They were interested in years, and between the cost of that and just how much we get back, it was more beneficial for us to just sell it to Murphy so they can keep it in their town. And then we looked at the cost of either, we're still looking at it, of building a new building, or like they have like manufactured homes, like manufactured things. So we are kind of still in between the two, it's not for certain, but our goal though is to sell the building to the post office. So for us to get a new bank, post office needs to get it.
So they'll move that post office in wherever they want to put it, right? Because Ricky,
That building is gone. That's,
it doesn't even exist.
well, no, like Rolling Hills has it now. That's their bank now.
That was the one you were gonna move up here?
Yes.
Okay, so I've already known.
Yeah, so that's already sold, so he's still on that land next to Casey's. So you're either wanting to build a new branch or have a manufactured.
Be good.
And the current bank right now, Main Street, we want to give that, or we want to sell it to the post office, but we all know that they are bad at communication.
Sure do need a post office. I'm tired of driving these yet for stamps.
I didn't even see my city bill this month,
You can get
so.
stamps at Casey's.
Or the library.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
You can also buy them at the library.
Okay.
No.
You need to send out a bulletin.
It's a very informational meeting.
Get out of your house.
I just want to be clear, I had nothing to do with the stamps. I'm here
It's okay, it's in the
updating and answering
package, though.
questions.
You can also
Stamps
buy
is
them
not me.
online. USPS, and they ship them to your house.
All right. So I don't want to take up any more time. If you have any questions, please let me know. I think Crystal said all my contact. So, okay, thank you.
These guys over here do banks too.
Yeah, if you need some help, let me know.
I wrote you down.
There you go.
Next up will be Mike from Lion Energy.
It is a busy night. So, my name is Mike Wagner. I'm the Community Development Manager for Lion Energy. It's great to be with you tonight to chat a little bit about our franchise agreement with Scranton. Our franchise agreement with the town expires this year, so it's time to begin the process to renew it. It isn't kind of a hire fire document. It's more of a service agreement kind of document because service areas were determined by the Iowa Utilities Commission years ago. But really what the franchise agreement does, and if it's in your packet, it kind of looks like this. It really just kind of sets out the terms of how we're going to work with each other. And for us, it's a benefit because it makes it easier for our crews to come in because they know that we do things pretty close to the same in every single town as opposed to, oh wait, in this town, we can't do that. In this town, we can't do that. And then it also just really has some good benefits for the community in it. It does, say like if we're going to dig a hole, we make a mess, what is our process to fill it? It lets you know that we trim trees based on the plan that we filed with the Iowa Utilities Commission. And it basically kind of predetermines a lot of the parts of our relationship. So every time we do something in town,
the city doesn't have to hire an engineer plans, because it's just like, you know, this is how it's. I would say kind of overwhelmingly, the two big things for the city in here, for our franchise communities, when you have a construction project like a big fire station, provided the project kind of meets some of the things in the franchise agreement, we move and relocate those utility lines at our expense. Sometimes it's a temporary move, sometimes it's a permanent move. So that's a real benefit of being a franchise. The other thing, and not that we advocate for it, but just that it's a good time to have that discussion because the franchise agreement is open, is if you want to consider a franchise fee. I've had, I think this year I probably have 9 franchise agreements that have to be renewed. And I have probably about 10 additional towns talking to me about franchise fees, because for many communities, it's just one more way to generate additional income, given the changes in property taxes that are put on town. Just to kind of help you through that process, the first one is this thing, it's called a revenue purpose statement. It kind of looks like that. And it has A through J. And that's basically a clip and paste of every allowable use for the franchise fee. So the franchise fee is meant to be something that it generates money so that the city can use it to offset any expenses with managing your relationship. And then according to the city code, you're allowed to spend any leftover money on anything in that A through J kind of area. What typically happens is that because of the way we're set up, you really don't ever incur any expenses. So then towns use it to pay for anything in that A. There's 2 lines that are open there for property tax abatements or property tax relief. If you decide to say that 50% of the fee would go to that, you have to actually write in the 50%. To me, sometimes that's kind of goofy, because I think when I read through this list, most of the stuff is stuff that you would pay for with property taxes. But if you wanted to go straight for it, but I mean, it's everything from like public safety, disaster mitigation, energy conservation, economic development, public works, public utilities, public transportation. So there's a whole bunch of different uses for it. And towns look at this if they're going to consider the process, and they kind of start out with kind of 2 trains of thought. Some towns may look at it as, we want to use it, like in your instance, we want to use it to help pay for the new fire station. So they may edit out that whole list, so it's just A, which you kind of have to leave in there. That's what the purpose is. And then they just leave the public safety. And then there's other towns that look at it as, we have a limited budget, that we leave the whole list in, and then just zero out the property tax. That way, then when the clerk, the finance director, pay the bills, you could go, okay, we can pay for some of this stuff out of franchise fees, or we can pay for some of this stuff out of the local general fund. You're never really locked into this. This is passed by a simple resolution. So it's just something you put in the council agenda, and then you just have to publish it. So that if you did want to say, put it for the fire station, and then once the fire station is built and you pay for it, you could come back and amend it. So it isn't anything. And the percentages also aren't anything you really want to do. We kind of ask this, you don't try to ride the needle and like, this year it's going to be this, and this year it's going to be that. But I have had towns like Muscatine a couple of years ago when the polar vortex was on the way. They actually cut their franchise fee in half because they mostly natural gas to help make sure the customers built. And that's really then just the next question is how much of a franchise fee to consider if you want to do one. I prepared these estimates for you because somebody taught me how to use Excel. It's kind of calculated down to the penny. But I would say that your mileage will vary, and that's mostly because this is based on last year's energy use, which I think for years that we've had recently, it's pretty close to having all 4 seasons kind of sort of like they normally are supposed to be where they're supposed to be. But if you have a really hot summer or a really cold winter, people are going to use more energy, so their bills will be higher, so then your percentage of it would be higher. For a lot of towns, when you look at this chart here, this bottom chart here is how mobile option sales taxes are distributed in your county, because those are distributed by population. And according to state law, you can either have a local option sales tax on a utility bill or a franchise fee. You can't have both. So what some towns look at is, we're already charging a 1% loss. If we go to a 1% franchise fee, we're basically collecting the same amount of money. We just get to keep more of it. Because right now, for every $100 you collect on loss, according to your population, you get back about 5% of that. So, you know, right now you collected roughly off our utility bills, $8,600 for local option sales taxes, but you only got 5% of that. So for a lot of towns, when they're going through this process and are considering doing a franchise fee, a lot of them look at a 1% franchise fee as kind of a no-brainer because you're already collecting that. The biggest difference between a franchise fee and a local option sales tax is that this is a use fee, it's not a tax. So anybody in town who's tax exempt still has to pay it, whereas right now they might not be paying that local option sales. And I think you should probably use your water and sewer bills to figure out who's tax exempt and who's not. I know sometimes people think there's a lot of more tax exempt businesses or groups or, you know, what have you in town. Often I find that where counties or cities, or rather cities, will hear from customers that they rate is if you have a big production facility in town, some of them have a meter that is a tax exempt meter. So right now they're not paying a local option sales tax on it. So if you went to a franchise fee, and that's what I kind of encourage towns if you're considering a franchise fee, to have some conversations with those high energy users in town, and you can figure out who they are. To say, hey, we're going to 1%, you know, what would the impact to that be? And then there's other towns too that look at it as we're already charging 1%, so if we went to 2%. I find that often when a town starts to get above a 2 to 5, that's when you start to hear from people. Each 1% adds about $1.50 to a customer's bill. I never say only because I'm always like, well, hey, can I have $1.50 then? You know, so, but it does have an impact on people's bills, and have a lot of people in town on a fixed income. You know, a couple extra bucks can make a difference here or there. You know, really the franchise fee too, it's not anything that you have to do. It's just because of the franchise open. It's something to consider and talk about. I would say kind of as far as for next steps, I would encourage your attorney to read through the franchise agreement, you folks read through it, see if there's anything, you know, if you have questions about it. You know, I work with the mayor and the attorney and the clerk. If there's any issues in there, we can kind of work on some I've got some substitute language for things that people may have. I would say this new franchise agreement that we put forward is, I think, a little bit more flexible from a city's perspective. Our previous agreement was for 25 years, and it was kind of like 25 years in term. And we kind of proposed a 25-year agreement for towns that enter into some kind of agreement for 25 years. I mean, the only thing we do for 25 years is buy. So we've split it up, so it's really a 10 to 15. So it's a 10-year agreement, and then a section of 10 years where you have the opportunity to break the agreement more or less and say, hey, we need to renegotiate this. We have some issues with the company to fix. And then there's also some language a little bit farther down in there that gives the towns a little bit more power and ability to say, okay, we need to revisit some issues. Compared to previous agreements, I think this one offers a little bit more flexibility. So, but I would say if you do want to consider a franchise, you can have a discussion about it. And then after that, the process is to approve the revenue purpose statement. Most towns will approve the revenue purpose statement and set the public hearing for the next meeting at the same time. That way, when you put your notice in the paper, everyone can kind of see considering franchise fee, and this is where you're going to spend it. And then at your next meeting, you hold have your votes. And then as far as like your second, you know, collapse those or then after that, the clerk and I will fill out an enormous amount of paperwork. Yes. And then the franchise fee number, I should say here, is divide that by 4. And that's kind of roughly how it will be paid out. Sometimes a year will be a little higher, sometimes it will be a little lower. But we pay that in January, April, July, and October. We pay that by ACH. Thanks for having me here tonight. I've given you probably a whole heck of a lot of information that took me 4 years to figure out. So if you have questions, no problem. Franchise agreements are also come up every 25 years. So for a lot of councils, I think I've only met like 4 people who've ever been at the council. Last time there was a franchise agreement, I think they retired. So if you have any other additional questions, you know, reach out to me and you can work through those. and I'm more than happy to drive back.
We need to have the approval of, not tonight, but the approval of the, franchise agreement.
It would be a great negotiating ploy if I could say, you have until Tuesday or we're turning off town, but it doesn't work that way. Basically, as long as we're in the negotiating process, it's fine. I have like 9-4, I have a whole bunch that come up every year. And my goal is always to have them.
We put it on February's agenda, or on the agenda there.
I mean, that's a month right there, right off the bat, a month. Wait, is that too long?
No, I mean, it's fine. I mean, there's no kind of rushing deadline here on getting it done.
Okay, that's what I need.
Yeah, there isn't a clock ticking. You know, I think as you get closer to wanting to do your fire department project, we'll want to try to make sure that we have everything. So that there's a line moves, you know, but that's not an issue. But yeah, I mean, you're not under the gun to like, you know, get it done right.
Okay. The franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's passing is like passing an ordinance.
I don't understand all that stuff. Talked about that and then, sales tax income, right? Versus sales tax income?
Right, so if you want to do a franchise fee, the state says that you can't have both a franchise fee and the local option sales
And what I'm
tax.
getting at is we don't have any businesses in this town. So where's our
That doesn't
sales
matter.
tax income coming from? How does it work?
Well, right now, you're getting charged a 1% local option sales tax on our utility.
Everybody gets charged, the local option sales tax. And the city gets a percentage of that back.
Yeah, so I would imagine,
Right.
I'm sorry,
You said we get 5% of that back.
right now,
Now.
but you would be basically be getting 5% of that $8,000 number, because you get it back, basically back based on. But, and that's where a lot of towns kind of look at it as a 1%, kind of feels like a gimme, because why give it all away? I mean, and, you know, you talk to a small town, it's like $10,000, you can do a lot with $10,000, you know? So, you know, it's something to think about, but then again, too, it's not necessarily a requirement. I would say too, if you have a conversation, you decide you don't want to go forward with the franchise fee, keep the franchise fee language in the agreement. And then that way, if somewhere down the road, future council decides they want to do a franchise fee, we can just work out an amendment, we amend section 9, and it's a much easier process. All right. Well, thanks for having me tonight.
Thanks, sir.
Yes. Oh, by the way, too, I think at Casey's, when you order a pizza through the app, they'll deliver anything that they sell in the store. So you might be able to get a pizza and stamps delivered to your house.
There's a new topping for a pizza.
I apparently not gotten pizza and a roll of toilet paper delivered to my house. I do that.
I did, bud.
You don't have delivery.
I'm out. Do not go excited. We do not have delivery.
All right, thanks, folks.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't get too excited.
Next, Heritage Insurance.
Joan? Yes. I very clearly remember you saying you weren't coming back.
Well, I lied,
I'm very glad you're here.
but a week ago today, they did a retirement party for me in the Jefferson office. So I think I'm retired. Oh, good.
Well, you're still working. I'm very happy you're here.
Well, I brought with me, my replacement. This has been Obert, and he is, works through the Jefferson office. Tell a little bit about your.
Yeah, I definitely don't have as much to say as that last guy. Been over, from Coon Rapids, Iowa, local. Got into the insurance business about a year ago, graduated Iowa State. And it sounds like there's some new council members, so they may not be familiar with ICAP. Lucky for you, I'm not very familiar with ICAP as well, so if you guys have any questions, concerns, I don't know the answer, I'll find out. So I got some business cards here. I think there's 5 of them.
I've agreed to help him out, if he needs help.
Absolutely, yeah.
See, so you are saying. That's what I'm
This
hearing.
is just on the side. You know, but
You said that last time.
Yeah, well, I have faith that this is gonna work out this time.
I have faith I'm gonna be seeing you next year.
No, no, no. After 41 years, it's time to quit. I want you guys to know, I have always enjoyed working with you. I've gotten an education about city government and county government as well, so. I know that I don't want any part of it.
I think you should come join us.
No, I don't think so.
If you want a break from that, I'm sure, couple of years, we'll have a seat on the council.
Yeah, well, who knows? But it won't be me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Owen. Thank you.
John, but you have been a pleasure.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, up next, resolution 2026-01. This is Sam. I'll make the motion that we approve resolution number 2026.
Thanks, guys, for coming to our meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to see
It's
you.
a banking resolution, for transactions, approving people that sign for transactions.
Absolutely.
Yes?
Okay, so we need to make sure that we are moving Jerry Boyd and Justin Gibson, because Justin is also on something. And then that, like, we have something that so we need to say that we're moving Justin, Jerry, adding Steve, and that it needs to be, on all accounts, and then we'll need a new corporate resolution. Just wanted to make sure all of our ducks in
That's
a
what
row.
we're doing now, but yes, no, that's the removal is not, but that's at the end of our business items. The names. This is just so we can do our regular resolution.
Motion's on the table, is that
Yes.
correct? Yes.
So whose names are on there?
I'm sorry.
Whose names are on there?
It would be me, Steve, and Ashley.
Did you get that second? All right. Ashley,
It's a yay or nay.
It's
not a personal, it's not a personal thing.
Oh, then yes.
It's a roll call.
Greta, Annette, Clayton? Yes. Gail? All right. The budget schedule.
I'm so excited. You do not understand how much budgets are so exciting. I love budget.
Okay, we're gonna move that to the very end.
We'll do that when you're not here.
Yes. So you can hold, contain your excitement for 2 more minutes. All right, so next up is the Justin Gibson payment for the past work. This is work that he did with wiring here.
Yeah, Little League, he did the shelter house there.
Yeah.
He's done. I think it was just a barrel. Yeah, you're right.
So
He paid right now.
he paid for all the materials, and his labor was on this bill.
We quit paying him because of this. But he just brought it up. Okay, what approved for him to get paid? You do, you do, you don't, is what he said.
We got a problem with that.
I make a motion, pay.
How much is it?
Conflict?
Like to pay it.
There's some good work get done during the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we will table this. So we hear back from our.
Next, motion to table.
They moved on from my budget.
Okay.
I'm real excited.
Approval to motion it, Brenda. Ashley,
Yep.
Annette.
Yes.
Clayton. Gail. Yes. Good. Has been tabled. Up next, the tree bed. This is from your, you've done all of my trees before. Where's Lynch?
All the way at the end.
One block west or east of Casey's. Back to 25. That's the very first block you get to. That, it's only a couple blocks long? Yes. Okay, so, okay. And the trees are dead there? Okay. City Hall maple tree. That's the one
They're
right
just swelling up the stuff. The bark was waiting off. So
It's not an ash tree, but it's.
Oh, that's so sad.
you know.
It's a beautiful tree. Whenever I park under there, I have to give information for I don't see anything wrong.
Hey, Gail, she has a donation to replace the tree.
Oh, really?
So you can find all kinds of grants and plant trees.
This is it's a memorial money.
Okay.
How do we, if there's a that is on city property? Okay, I have one, because when they took down one of mine, there's one.
We'll discuss that after.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. We'll make a motion to approve this bid for to chop down some more of the trees.
Favor or not, Brenda? Ashley?
Yep.
That? Clayton?
Well, I'd like to see that tree that's not dead left for a year or two until it's dead, you know, I mean, we don't have very many trees. I'll say, yeah. I'd like to see that tree left.
Gail?
Yes.
I love what he did here.
All we ever do is cut down trees, we don't ever.
We have to
I also know that. Pretty sure. There you go, percent too.
No, I think we could stand to have a few more trees.
I applied for that grant.
I agree.
Did you really? Good for you. Appreciate it.
I agree, the city park.
Yeah.
Definitely needs some more.
No, we
trees.
need a few more trees around town. As long as they're where they're supposed to be.
Right. Up next, water tank bid. Are these, I don't know, are these like for tires? Yes.
Yes, yes, remember when we went to ditch
Oh, yeah.
and we talked about, it, Justin said that they got some for their focus. Great manufacturing.
That makes it way
And you guys
different
said,
time.
look into it, we will look into it. Mid-city, your first snow removal too.
Yeah, no, they need those chains. Them old ones are for that old blade that they used to use, is what them old chains are for.
I think the motion.
I'll say. Okay. Okay. Annette?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Clayton? Gail? Yes. Perfect. Okay. All right, up next. is Fire department bid proposal. At this time,
We already decided.
we're making a motion to table the fire department bid proposal at this time. Brenna? Yeah. Clayton? Yes. Annette? Ashley? Yep. Gail? Next is the banking transaction. Add myself, Ashley, and Brenna, no, myself and Ashley. And Crystal. And to remove Gary and Dustin.
So the stuff that you signed. Because we didn't have Ashley. We're only making. Yep. Did I go back there and redo all of them?
Okay,
Sorry.
good thing it's quick and easy. That's
Yeah.
what has a pen, so it makes it really easy.
Oh, we can bring them.
So, well, you're gonna have to change everything. And we'll have Ag, and Steve, and Crystal. And that's what we're moving on, right?
Yes.
We're removing Jerry and Dustin, and removing Jerry and Dustin. Yes. Okay, I'll make the motion, as we talked about. Everybody got it? Okay. Ashley?
Yep.
Brenna?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Clayton? Gail? Yes. All right. Now, I don't think we have, when we're talking about scheduling for, budget meetings, that doesn't have to be in the council meeting. We're just talking about scheduling for budget. I think. Yeah, we can adjourn, so we can adjourn. And it's okay. 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 This first city council meeting of Scranton for 2026.
Need the motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion.
Almost
That's the
done.
motion right there.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll second.
Brenna?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Clayton? Gail? No.
Yeah, we want to stay here all night, yeah.
I haven't ate supper yet, so let's couple more hours.
I'm ready to go home, how about you?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
It's fine. Good.
World.
So,
That's the way you go.
What do we got scheduled?
I thought you are, because I am not.
So.
Do it before the 12 o'clock.
Like a lot.
Oh, no.
Like a lot.
Too much?
Sunday.
Monday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot you guys gotta go stay in Des Moines.